My name is Theophile Nyirimana, and today I'm working on a project that says government and you, and it is a project that is in a goal called Contribute to Society, and I will be just delivering information regarding to the operation of US government. So to go deeper explaining, I just made an interview with different people, just asking them what they think about US government and how it operates. The main question that was in the interview were the three branches of US government, the role of each branch in the government, and the Democratic and the Republicans are the main branches. So I requested them to name the third party, and the last question was the processes through which a bill becomes a law. So the following part is the interview of these people whom I asked these questions.
My name is Theophile.
I'm Clementine.
So I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program at College for America, and I'm studying at Southern University. So I'm just working on a project called Government and You, and I'm making a delivery of that is state interview. So I need your consent for the project to be reviewed. So yes, the information in this interview will be used only for review and to be staying in the information of College for America for the period of the revision. So would you please accept to join this interview?
I, Clementine, will give my thoughts to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic work.
So if you accept to be part of this interview, I would just like to ask you some questions. And the first one is, what are the branches of US government?
Branches of US government,
Yes.
I think there is the legislative, judicial, and executive.
There are three. If there are three, what is the role of each branch?
I'm not sure, but something I think some are in charge of making the laws, others are in charge of seeing how the laws are being implemented. That's what I think.
So many people know about Democrats and Republicans. Can you please name the name or state the name of the third party?
The third party is minor party.
What do you mean by minor? Can you just let me know the process through which a bill becomes a law?
I think the bill becomes a law when they have been agreed or signed by the president. In another case, a bill becomes a law when many people had signed it and agreed that to be a law.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi.
My name is Theophile.
My name is Alice.
Alice, I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with College for America and at Southern University. So I'm working on my project that is called Government and You, and I'm making a delivery that is called Street Interview. So I just want your consent so that my deliverable will be approved. So did you have any questions so far? So the information will be stored temporarily in the College for America store while in the period of reviewing it, and it will be used for this purpose only. So if you would be part of this interview, I would like you to applaud.
I, Alice, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic work.
So thank you very much. Now I have only a few questions. Alice, what are the three branches of government?
So the three branches of government, there is legislative, executive, and judicial.
What are the role of each branch?
So I think executive branch is there to make law, and legislative branch is there to see or to follow up if those laws are being implemented. And then I don't know about the judicial one.
Interesting. Well, commonly we know Democrats and Republicans as parties in the United States. Can you please name the third party?
So the third party I think is minor parties.
Minor parties. And you know the process by which a bill becomes a law.
So a bill become a law when an idea is signed to become a law.
I seem to be
Yeah, it was an amazing opportunity to meet different people, hearing different thoughts about the operation of US government. So regarding to the questions, I went deeper, just making some research about what they told me and also add on more information. So after my research and my findings, I collected just a report that summarizes what I found in my research. So in the first question, I found that they were right when saying that the US government is made of legislative branch, executive branch, and judicial branch. These are three branches of US government, and these branches can be found on College for America resource. That is the resource is published through candelalanding.com. So we are going to see the role of each branch one by one. Legislative branch refers to the branch that is mainly made of US Senate and the House of Representatives. Many people wonder, why is US Congress? The US Congress is made of these two branches. I want to mean House of Representatives and the Senate. That is what summarized and is commonly known as US Congress. So now we're going to see the role of this branch, the legislative branch. So the role of this branch includes but not limited to making laws, declaring war, when necessary regulating commerce, establishing laws of immigration and naturalization, establishing federal courts and their jurisdictions, raising army and navy, coin money. There are so many roles for this branch, and further of this branch role is just as possible to, it is possible to review the budget from executive branch, the yearly budget that the government will be using, and also it is in charge of just making the agenda of laws as lawmakers. They are also responsible to follow up with criminal cases such as those which have been made by officials, military officials in the country. So as they are elected, just House of Representatives are elected for 2 years mandate, but the Senate are elected for 6 years mandate. They are just serving as representation of the population as they are elected, and they just make sure that they are keeping in touch with the people that they present in the government. Now let's see what is executive branch. Executive branch is the branch that is mainly led by President of the United States, and the other sub part in this executive branch is the cabinet. This cabinet is made of members of representative different 15 major departments of US government, and this cabinet is elected by President himself. Members of the executive branch function not only as essential policymakers, but also direct representation of the need and wants of the American electorate. And this information can be found on finding delcinia.com in 2016. This is the article that is published there, talks about what is executive branch and its main role. So the executive branch also is responsible to counsel or approve different bills passed by its veto, because it is just have the power of approving or rejecting through its veto. The executive branch and the cabinet members provide the good advice to the president, and if I say provide the good advice, just understand that there is the White House representative or staff, including the cabinet and so on, and so the different people just working around the president, advising him, so that the US decision makers should be just made appropriately. In the branch also, there is Office of Management and Budget. This office prepares the yearly budget for the execution of different policies that the government have taken. So after just making and the preparation of this budget, the budget is passed to the Congress and to be reviewed and assessed whether it is efficient. The same branch also, it has a department of National Security Council that advises the president, especially in different military affairs as well as foreign policies. The Department also of National Economic Council helps the government and the president to know different economic policies to be taken. There are so many laws of this branch, executive branch. For example, in a crisis, the president is possible to be immediate responder to different crises like wars, like demonstrations, like yachts, like calamities. Just has to act fast and just contact the Congress after. Additionally, the President of the United States has become a key player in international crises. You can see the intervention of different presidents like Korean War, Vietnam War, and so on. But even though the nomination from the Senate concede the President recruit, just you see that the President elected most of the major representative of U.S. government. That is the execution of U.S. government. And furthermore, this President has plans for social security, welfare programs, taxes, inflation, and public education and foreign policies and so on. You see, this branch not only just have play a big role in the internal management of the country, but also on international sphere. So what is the judicial branch? Judicial branch, it is I can say it is like the legal system of the United States. As we saw this branch is restored by the U.S. Congress, where the U.S. Congress is possible to just establish courts and as well as their jurisdictions. Judicial branch is made of U.S. legal system, as I've said, and it is made by different federal and state courts. However, U.S. Supreme Court is the upper level of justice in the U.S. legal department. The main law of this judicial branch, it is to protect the rights of U.S. citizens through solving different court cases based on the Constitution and constitutional principles, Congress law, and executive branch policies. Just the judicial branch is made up by courts, but these courts, judges have to take a decision according to the constitution and policies of the executive branch, as well as the laws and different bills just differ from the U.S. Congress. In other words, the court system is the foundation of social equality and democracy in the United States. This information can be found in the College for America resource that is published through candelalearning.com, 2016. And let me just pull out the link between these three branches. The Congress passes laws, that is the main law as lawmakers. Then the President and the executive branch make recommendations and set policies according to the law. They vote, they just approve for what the law is, and after approving, making the law, they just set recommendation and the policies to the society. And the judges refer to these laws and policies set when just deciding on different court cases realized in the community. And they use these laws to protect the citizens' rights. Now, how do all these powers or all these branches share power? How do they balance? There are different ways that these three branches balance. The balance between the three governmental branches is defined by the U.S. Constitution, where the U.S. first of all identifies the representation of each branch. In this process, the executive branch is headed by the U.S. President. The legislative branch is headed by the Congress and judicial branch by the Supreme Court. The The second way they balance, each branch has ability just to oversee what the other branch is doing. In other words, the Constitution also gives each branch the right to check other branches' actions or balance the actions of another branch through its own actions. For instance, the Congress is responsible to review the yearly budget prepared in the executive branch. So the executive branch does the budget, those who are in charge of preparing the budget, they prepare the budget and they pass it to the Congress to be reviewed. That is the way of just assessing how other branches operate. And secondly, the president may sign to a bill from the Congress as bill makers. However, after the vote, the court may find that the law is unconstitutional and just start to claim that the law is not constitutional and the implementation becomes just banned from to be implemented. The law may be cancelled because it is against the Constitution. So there are a very tight link between the three, and each one is able to evaluate the actions of others through its own actions. Now let's go to two-party system. Two-party system, as I asked those whom we saw in the interview, there are Democrats and Republicans as major parties in the United States. However, there are the third parties. But what are the Democrats? What is Republicans? Two-party system, briefly, it refers to the system in which the major political parties dominate most of the presidential elections, as well as have as many as possible offices, federal and state offices, just in regard to their ability and strength in the state. Here in the United States, only Democrats and Republicans, they are the major strong parties that dominated the presidential elections since 1852. And these parties have even managed to win more official places in the US Congress since 1856 until today. And this information can be found on boundaries.com in 2016. Now, let's see the history of each political party in brief. The Democratic Party, starting on it, it is one of the strong parties in the United States, together with Republicans, and it has started to operate in the years before 1930. It has the records of being the old parties, or the old party, that has been just progressing day to day, and that has been increased in number and forces. Barack Obama is the 15th president of the United States, and the 15th president from the Democratic Party that led the United States of America. The party was started as a faction of anti-federalists that opposed the fiscal policies of Alexander Hamilton in the early 1790s. Since the new economic agenda of President Roosevelt, economic philosophy also strongly strengthened the party, especially in 1912. So far, this party has been gaining so much power, especially on economic and social issues, due to the dedication of just helping the population to overcome different economic and social issues. During 1929, Republican leadership under President Hoover faced a great depression in this period. Through this period, the Democratic Party stood in the press and just fought against the problems, especially regarding economics and social issues. This information can still be found on boundaries.com 2016. Later, the President Franklin Roosevelt just brought an agenda that renewed the party and strengthened its forces. In 1992, Democratic Bill Clinton was elected and re-elected in 1996. This was the second mandate that existed after the end of the leadership of Roosevelt. Since midterm election 2006, the Democratic Party has held the majority in the state Senate. Since this period, 2006, in 2011, according to today's census, registered voters of this party has reduced from 25 to 28 states of America. In the same year, the members of the party, unfortunately, reduced it from 1.7 million to 800,000 members. Additionally, in 2016, the party has failed the presidential election according to BBC News. Now, let's move on to the Republican Party. The Republican Party is another strong party alongside with the Democratic Party that was formed by anti-slavery activists in 1854. In this period, in 1858, the party dominated nearly all northern states of America. In 1816, the party came to the power under the election of President Abraham Lincoln. Additionally, the party controlled the presidency through the period of 1920s, and this was the period of Republican to control the Congress. Of course, they have been dominating the presidential election since 1860s to 1920s. So it has been leading power for all the presidential election and also the US Congress. During the 21st century, what is known for the party is that it has been characterized by conservatism policies. It has been characterized by just striving to improve the internal strength of the state, such as economic and the military, instead of just going external. It has also been characterized by just fighting against the terrorism. President George Walker Bush was the 19th Republican to hold the office, while Mitt Romney was just failed to outcompete Barack Obama in the election of 2012. During the census of 2011, the registered voters for the Republican Party declined from 21 to 28 states of America. Members of the party also went down by 350,000 members. However, the party won the presidential election in 2016. This information can be found on boundaries.com. The party also the two parties have been competing with the third party that many people refer as minor parties. But what is third party? Third party refers to any party that may run for an election other than the major two parties. In the United States, third parties include but not limited to the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, and the Constitutional Party. In American history, what is all currently known in the past and the current existing parties is that they rarely won the presidential elections, as well as dominating the federal offices such as House of Representatives and Senate, though they have an influence to the policy making of the United States. However, in 2011, the census showed that members of the party have increased by 325,000 from 400,000 members they were in 2008. So now let us see what are the impacts of having the third party in the administration of the United States. The third parties usually organize and mobilize around a single issue or position, putting pressure on the candidates from major political parties to address those issues. For instance, the segregationist American Independent Party candidate George Wallace gained 13.5% of the popular vote in the 1968 election. In response, the Republican Party adopted a southern strategy to win the support for conservatives and Democrats in the South who opposed the new civil rights movement, Find Law 2016. You see that the influence of one party, of this minor party, can have a big impact. In this period of 1968, this party has just given the chance for Republicans to win the election. Yet, due to different ideas that they had, especially about American conservatism. Though it's rare for the third party to win presidential elections, the third party may take electorates from one major party to the other. That is what happened in 2000 election, where Green Party presidential candidate Ralph Nader took votes away from Democratic candidate Al Gore, and this gave the chance to the Republican candidate George Walker Bush to win the election in this 2000 period. Additionally, the third party has often brought societal problems the major parties has failed to confront to the forefront of public discourse, and those issues major parties failed to be just bringing to governmental agenda. Those minor considered parties have brought these issues, these social problems to the agenda of US governance, and this can be found on ripdigital.usembassy.gov 2012. Now, let's see what are the processes through which a bill becomes a law. The basic processes through which a bill becomes a law can be found on scholastic.com 2016 or from the National Human Genome Institute of Research or genome.gov 2016. And these basic steps refers to the birth of the bill. The bill can be born from the House of Representatives, from the Senate or the US Cabinet, or it can be also born through out of the government, in anti-government parties. And after the bill is born, it is discussed and amended by the US Congress. After the amendment, the President signs on the bill. Just after the agreement from the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the Cabinet, after they agreed on the bill, the President signs on it. If there is disagreement, this is the first process. The President signs on the bill that has been born and amended, or if it has been agreed on the two just branches, the two houses. And if there is just compromise on the bill, disagreement on the bill, the majority vote, just the bill passing the veto, where the majority, I want to mean 2/3 of the majority vote the bill. If they vote the bill to become a law, the bill automatically becomes a law after the vote. And if the 2/3 vote not, the bill not to become a law, the bill is rejected. That is basically the basic information about the process through which a bill becomes a law. Thank you very much.